to make sure that you're inside the circle, but still gatekeep teams, get kills, and towards the end game, try to put a lot of pressure onto the teams inside the circle, inside the new circle.
And that sound means we are almost ready here for game number 4. We're switching maps. We're going to be going to Miramar now to find out how these teams are going to fare in the desert. Thank you very much for your patience, ladies and gentlemen, as we are here for the PUBG Europe League to get everything going. It's day 1. There's always going to be a hiccup or two, but it's time. It's game number 4.
And here we go. G2, they're gonna take home game number 4. Let's see where the plane is gonna take us. It's gonna go from the north, from the south to the north. I mean, pretty central plane, meaning everybody. This plane is pretty good for everyone, more or less. It's not a problem to reach your destination. We're talking about Miramar. There's plenty of places to drop and get vehicles. You don't need to contest too much.
Very curious to see here if we get some contest off the bat. We have some very decent loot spots that can be shared easily. Los Leones is one of them. We're going to see a couple of teams there most likely. FaZe Clan is probably going to have their Montenuevo, who they've been basically having since Miramar came out, and it's a very decent loot spot, especially for rotations coming off the bat. It's kind of far to El Azahar, but we're going to see at least, looks like 3 teams here in Los Leones, so we're most likely going to see a bit of early fight to establish who's going to go where. Los Leones can easily be shared with 2 or 3 teams if they already know where they want to go here.
All right, well,
Hacienda, it looks like TSM is going to go Hacienda with their split. Also a very decent start for them.
Seems that way. All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, as we are ready for our first circle to pop here on Miramar. And it's time to head over to the commentary team. That's North. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much. So, let's set the scene. You can see really what's going on with the drops here. There has been a couple of adjustments from what we've heard. We do know that the teams had a number of scrims on Miramar, so they kind of got themselves settled. One of the changes I'm seeing is Na'Vi a little bit further. I was told they're going to be an Impala. Of course, the plane didn't really suit that. Same with ENCE. I don't think they were expecting CrowCrowd to be in Los Leones, and MBS is down. Voxix and then picked himself up. I tell you what, I couldn't hit that shot. I mean, even when he's down like that with iron sights, I'm rubbish.
I mean, he's going to be dead anyway, regardless. It needed a miracle to get him back up, because especially with no armor on.
Miracle to get him back up.
I mean, I like it. It could have worked.
You see, could have, but he's not anywhere near. But yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to be the first man down. You hate that, right? He's just sat there for, what, 30, 35 minutes in between games, and NIP went out. They go out in the last game. So he's been sat around for about an hour, and you get in, he did end straight away. But he didn't even get to pick anything. Oh, really? With a VSS just to finish, just to rub that salt in the wound. Someone's come in, but you're a little too late.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. Anyway,
that's
we'll move
actually,
on from this one.
you know, speaking of Voxic's position, by the way, they are further north than they normally are.
God,
they would ordinarily be obviously all around Milton Power area, but they've gone a little bit further north there towards obviously the San Martins where an IP go. So Voxic's kind of maybe a little out of position, and they probably didn't expect him to be there. Maybe a compound that they're fighting over.
Well, the circle, she's gone all the way to the north, and it is central in Miramar of the map. And that's exactly where the playing route kind of went from. It went all the way down south, all the way up north. Team Liquid this time. It's time to shine for these boys. They've got no competition whatsoever over here in Picardo. They can do what they like. I've already seen a K9 in the hands of one of the big boys with the sniper rifles. We'll go further afield and show you all the way down south Puerto Paraiso.
So they've dropped way south of Los Leones and gone all the way around this coastline.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I like this for the simple fact that it's, okay, it's one of those options where you think, I'm not going to be central of the map, so I'm always running the risk of being further away from a circle. That's always going to be the thing that's in back of your mind. For these teams, and it goes for the same in Erangel, for these teams that like to play cities that are further away from central, you've always got to be aware that the circle could be on the perpendicular, complete opposite side to you. But from where they are, you have so many roads that pretty much all lead to the circles. It's a good thing and a bad thing that comes about this map. The good thing is that there are the roads there and there are the vehicles. The bad thing about this map is that, unfortunately, those roads and how you look at the topography of the map, it does bottleneck teams into one another, and it does feed teams into one another. And this is where you find a lot of them are just pull up on a compound or pull up over a ridge and get completely battered upon arrival.
Look at that, 4.5 minutes, and Team Liquid are off on the rotate. The plane path did go directly over Picardo, to obviously give them an advantage. But this is a tricky spot. TSM also rotating because you think of where the central position is. I'm looking towards Jokers that are already there because they go up to La Cabrera. Raise Your Edge did very well in Miramar. And actually, both of these teams, Raise Your Edge and Jokers, picked up so many points on Miramar in Minsk.
Now, the thing for Liquid, Lee, and you mentioned it, they're on the bikes and they're off straight away. They can do that now because now they're in a home turf with no competition. Their loot routes come into effect. They know the compounds that they do. In and out, job done. Get your gear, get your guns, get gone. That's exactly what Liquid are doing. So I'm really interested to see how they do this because there's no one pestering them. They are going to have to run a gauntlet. There will be several teams in the way. And because we're up north in a small circle, missing about 200 meters on the top edge of it, smashes him.
But they got to be worried.
Between the eyes.
Oh, he's pushing for it. D-Mash is right around the corner. Did he? He just heard the footsteps. I think he dropped. As soon as he dropped down, he heard the footsteps. Yeah, D-Mash has come right up to it. So FastRay was trying to get into flush the tab there and instantly heard the footsteps and thought, hang on a minute, that is not my teammate. Probably a call to Cup of Magic is like, is that you coming towards me? And D-Mash backs away from it. But he may have just bought enough time for Tab to get back on his feet. Back in San Martin, they may have lost a player, but they are going to get themselves some level 3 gear, as VOD will collect that. By the way, I noticed way down south.
Ooh, we're in play.
It's not the new patch yet. Calm yourself down.
You don't need to be.
Down. It's still a big boy.
It's still a monster.
It's still a big boy, but well, the new patch, I'll tell you, whenever that hits into live, oh my word, these players are excited for it to see that AWM damage. Team Liquid, they scouted, they moved, and they adjusted. But going back to my discussion with G2 way down south, I think they're in Valle del Mar, way down the bottom there, but they kind of spread also to the island. They've gone for a full 4-man spread, which is tricky because remember that used to be the old Na'Vi ground. If Na'Vi decide to switch it up, actually Vitality used to go there a few times as well. If any of them decide, oh, you know, let's go there, they could get caught out.
We'll see if it actually changes up, to be fair. It might be the...
They're going south.
It could be a matter of factly where they're just jumping out of planes the second it gets into play.
They're going into they're going M19 and rotating out of Los Leones south to go along the east road.
This is what I told you about these coastal roads. Yeah. Because they're open and because you've got to think about it. There's only one way, really, 2 ways, from essentially, you can actually be shot at, which is in front of you or to your left-hand side. If you're running these coastal roads, all you have to worry about is the water next to you, and that's not going to shoot you because it doesn't have arms.
And so Na'Vi, you can see here, they're doing the same thing. So we're going to have M19 pretty much running up behind them in a bit. They are, I'm guessing, with the circle. I mean, they could even be going way up to Torre Armada and coming in towards the Oasis side.
I really want to check in on TSM because we have so many teams encroaching on their position. To the left-hand side, you've got Winstrike down south. You do have the Knights up north. You've got 2 teams in terms of Jokers and Raise Your Edge. The thing about the battle with the Jokers and Raise Your Edge is that either of those teams split off, they will run into another one. So this could be pretty much a powder keg of teams central of this map, to be honest with you. Domino effect. Once one of them gets the fight, other people will either inject themselves into those fights, or if teams opt to eject themselves from the fights, they have to run into another team, unfortunately. This could be catastrophic.
His car's running away. I tried to jump out and move, and his car started rolling down the hill.
Honestly, I can't. For people at home, I cannot tell you enough how many teams are central right now. Yeah. This is going to be insane. There's a lot of compounds and a lot of hills, so you won't get them smashing into another straight away, but it's so crowded in the middle of the map.
I love FaZe's movement. They got Monty Nueva. They went all the way around the west side, and Team Liquid are kind of mirroring it. They went around the west side of El Pozo and up to the north. Team Liquid actually may run into FaZe Clan. They're probably going to scout them, but they are doing a very similar path right now. We were talking about M19 and Na'Vi. It looks like Recreant's kind of been split away from his team. He may kind of catch in towards M19 here. Ehot's actually out of his vehicle right now as well, so got to be careful he doesn't get picked off.
He's kind of doing his job, though, Lee, because he's the one that's going to sit back and call out people who will be coming behind Na'Vi to flush them. And if he gets a collar on M19 and says, look, boys, the team right behind you, be aware of this. M19 can set up, Na'Vi can set up and potentially bottleneck M19. The circle fixates on the main pack of players. Smack bang in the middle. Oh, this is going to be just a bloodbath, to be honest with you. There's not much more room that could support many more teams. You might be able to fit them in La Cobra area or even around the water treatment, but again, you're still playing edge. Nobody, absolutely nobody is getting central anymore. That's it. It's too locked.
It's getting a bit risky down the south. You can't start pushing in that way. I can see Red Diamonds and The Knights are very close to one another. You can see here Vitality pulling up. They've got Na'Vi just to the east of them. You can see to the west of them is NIP. To the north of them is also TSM is nearby as well. So Digital Athletics, well, they're trying to find a home of their own, really, up on the hillside. Not ideal for them, as the Pittsburgh Knights are actually being pressured. They've got Red Diamonds right on top of them. Bestalock's decided to push up, but he's found himself. Oh! He's actually almost got Kramer down, but Kramer finds the headshot. Kramer, I think, must have 1 hit point left after that, but it will be a flush. And Bestalock down. Second player done it now. Winstrike engage on Raise Your Edge. They catch out Snark in the rotation. He was trying to rejoin his team.
I kind of like the player there from the Knights. They pushed up and they took one down. Even if they were to have one fall, at least you have that many teams in terms of teammates to be able to stop the initial flush coming through. You can afford a knock like that. Obviously, you're going to do damage to your gear. You're going to lose durability. You are going to have to go for the res. But when you have enough players there that can completely just confirm the kill, Nasus, please, I want to say Jazza, please, with the little knockdown on his teammate there. Vitality after getting back up, but he can get inside his compound. That'll be an easy one for him. Unfortunately for Digital Athletics, they're going to be in all kinds of problems because they're late to the party and Red Diamonds are sitting very firmly directly in front of them. FaZe and Liquid kicking off northern edge of the map. ENCE slowly crawling their way in again, northern edge of the map. They've got all the room in the world to play with. To be fair, they could probably sit where they are, maybe play for the circle and hope it goes their way, because if it doesn't, they'll have to run the gauntlet, but they can go probably swing it down the eastern roads, I want to say. And again, that's where you're going to have RYE, Vitality, Na'Vi, and so on and so forth, because you can't get central. It's just too... Look, it's a diamond of teams.
Look how mobile teams are starting to get. They realize the circle's collecting in. Team Liquid, by the way, not happy with their position of the north, so they've decided to rotate back round to La Cabrera and inside. Na'Vi, very clever rotation from them. Spotted Vitality moving out the compound, going further north, said thank you very much. We will move in, get a little bit more further central. Pittsburgh Knights, they're trying to get mobile, they're trying to shift in. Everybody's trying to shimmy a little bit closer to the center. Digital Athletics actually have themselves a really big area over on the western side, but as you see, Iroh was the solo man away from the rest of his team, has been found out by the Red Diamonds. And now the circle slowly shrinks in. CrowCrowd have just about crept inside, so everybody currently inside the white border and waiting for the next move. If there's to go north, it's going to cause a lot of problems on the teams because there's a lot of clustered around the south central sort of area of the circle at the moment. You know, thinking like Winstrikes, TSMs, even the Knights, etc. It's very crowded. Whereas you look towards the north, you got FaZe. They actually got a big buffer behind them along with Team Liquid.
See where this updates, and it stays around the northern area.
And
around
now
the main head
look at all those teams, though, that are outside of it. It's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, so TSM
so
are
half
going
the
for
pack have got to cram themselves into that southern side. There needs to be some big rotations here. Look at M19, actually. Wise choice from them, going way around the edge. It's going to hurt them, though, because this is Phase 4 Circle, I believe.
Gustav went ahead of the pack for TSM, got themselves a free compound, free building, so they will get in. They are on the edge, but they're in regardless. We now need to see the Knights make their move. Unfortunately, Winstrike will be just ahead of them. There's no compounds there. At the moment, as we're looking at the map, it's just lighting up with tracer fire all over the shop. Everyone's trying to be fair, Michael's actually getting a little bit further ahead. They want to get overzealous here and really get deeper into the circle, which somehow they've managed to do. The Knights they're following, they're trailing in the back. We lose Kaint on that rotation. Tab finds him, he's down, he's dead.
Everywhere. Winstrike is splintered right now. They need to group up, get something going because they are separated. TSM, Pittsburgh Knights all moving on top of them. Na'Vi moving into the back of Raise Your Edge at the moment as well. Winstrike will get the hell out of there, so they are going to get themselves together. Meanwhile, Red Diamonds and Digital Athletics outside of the zone. They're starting to engage. Adusi finds a beautiful death. Iroh already down, remember. Meanwhile, coming into the back of them is NIP. FaZe Clan sitting pretty with a 2-2 split. They have a massive area, really, when you think of the central point. G2 are getting a little closer to them, as you see Team Liquid just in the foreground as well, as now really the focus is the southern side. Digital Athletics, Red Diamonds, NIP kind of all rotating within each other's area. Interesting. Okay, by the way, this is something we've noticed that started to happen. Yellow outfits. Now, ordinarily, you guys at home probably thinking, why would you wear yellow? It's easy to spot. Why are you wearing that? It's generally because a lot of the teams have digital vibrance up so high that the yellow almost blends in. It's something I've noticed a lot of the Korean streamers, players do.
Rustam finds Wanderer, M19 now coming out of the shadows of the blue. A lot of them will be extremely damaged as well, so this could be an easy few wipe-ups and mop-ups for them. Really nice play from Winstrike. I like how they... It was very...
Oh, 19 of round
was just kind of wandering really slowly one individual at a time to move up through all the compounds, but they've injected themselves further and deeper into that circle. Regardless of where it goes, they're in a good position for the next rotation. M19, they've been really, really slow on this one. Unfortunately, they took it so slow that they've now run into two different teams. Ends up in the north, over on the eastern back.
Good.
Vitality, they'll mop that one up. Two individual players at the back, 2 points there. Nasus.
Ehot's the last man
for
standing.
him.
M19, they tried this big rotation in the blue, and it was the right choice. It was the right way to go. But the problem is,
too slow.
It's too slow, and they've ran into the back of ENCE, who had a nice spread on the northern eastern side. And then they went, oh, Christ, let's avert. Let's go down straight down the road, straight into Vitality.
Hold on. Samty's gone down. Mexi sees him. That's the SLR coming into
circle
play.
shift has absolutely killed everyone.
Rory
Team Liquid,
bites the
plumb
bullet as
center.
well. This could be dangerous as Drayden will at least pick them up now. I think that's inside a compound, so they'll be able to move forward. Unless they're on rotation, they're not. They're actually being held back by the Knights. This is a good circle, but Liquid, it's shifted towards them.
It's Red Diamonds.
I did not know, and I've only just realized this, and this could be a big problem for Team Liquid. NIP is still lingering.
Yeah,
they're in the back
they've just rotated.
All
so
they've
Red
done
Diamonds,
is just chill.
Red Diamonds and Digital Athletics, they were south of them. And they were like, okay, you guys are fighting. They went way around the western side, and they've come in, snuck in the side of La Cabrera, and found themselves the entirety of the west side, as you say.
Can we please get a POV of TSM here? Because this is the one that I want to see now be rotating around them. TSM are just trying to hold them back here, and that's exactly what they're doing. But the thing is, TSM, while they're focusing on this fight, the Blue's going to be slowly coming their way, and they have two other teams they have to fight.
Michael's holding them back. So
he is, but like, what else can they really do? They're outside the Blue. They have to take these fights. They have to open up these pockets and get inside the circle.
Because if you were to look at the map, you can see on the mini-map in the corner there, sneaking in the side is the Pittsburgh Knights. So the Pittsburgh Knights have CrowCrowd right on top of them. This entire eastern side of this circle is massively congested because of this hard shift of the circle. It's hard shifted to the west, and it's caused so many problems. Recruit trying to blast it through. CrowCrowd say no, not having any of that. Formerly, of course, known as Al Pachinki through the qualifying. They snuck themselves through there. Pokemoliday caught out by Rory. Michael got the knock in the first place. And Sadovnik, the last man standing for Na'Vi now, trying to make his way through in that Marauder, but he's going headlong in towards Winstrike. Sees the Tracer fire, dodges to the left. Vitality, meanwhile, in the distance, gets the Jokers down as Senya gets picked off. He's going straight in, nowhere to go. The last man, Batulin, runs straight into the back of the Pittsburgh Knights, and it should in the end be an easy flush. He's going to try and cook an aid. Oh no, he shut the door! He shut the door! Oh no!
He actually denied them. By them, he denied them a point.
Do it. They shut the door.
It just denied him a point. Fair play.
Yeah.
CrowCrowd, unfortunately, backs up against the Blue. This could be fish in a barrel, as they'll just be silhouetting coming down the edge of the mountainside, and again that Blue's going to start to do damage and tick away. Set gets a knock, and all of a sudden Alf plays, answers one back. Kramer's down as well. 1, 2, 3 members of the Knights fall just like that.
But they should be able to revive it. The Blue is still on them.
The Blue will
they
hit
might
them
get
hard.
1, maybe 2 revives at most.
They should not have. I don't know what's happened there, but they should not have gone down in a compounder at all.
It's an open warehouse side, I believe that one is, that they are in. But meanwhile, this hillside, it is a nightmare. Kemper down, TSM in there. Raise your edge, taking pot shots, third party, and they're now making their way up this hill.
Yeah, we have to go
towards
and stick
the
with
Jokers.
this. We have to stay here.
TSM sticking in. You can see there's in the picture in pictures. The Pittsburgh Knights trying to revive as Mash tries to get the spray down. Oh, it doesn't matter. Pittsburgh Knights 14th place, their worst finish yet, I believe, throughout here. As we move on, the nades come through. Michael lands it. That's going to be D-Mash down, but Tabby's still there.
Oh, Wookie turned on him.
Wookie. He didn't. He got saved by the Geordie. Michael comes in, and TSM picking up more kills, but Raise Your Edge is still sniffing.
The base from the northeast. Michael again putting points on the board, and Body's in the bag, doing fantastic. CrowCrowd, no idea how they're alive, but they've been given, and not necessarily gifted a circle, but there is nobody, absolutely nobody near them. They can play the edge of the crater if they really want to.
That is a big shift.
They could go to the middle and literally play that edge. That's a beautiful circle for them.
And that's caused a problem for teams like Vitality and FaZe, who had good positioning prior to this, but now with such another hard shift, we don't often see the hard shifts coming around the 4th and 5th circle. It's what's catching a lot of these teams off guard. TSM once again, they've got to make this gauntlet run. You can see them trying to collect them vehicles and get out of there, but Raise Your Edge just sat ready and waiting.
Literally, TSM and Raise Your Edge are so buggered for this circle. Like, I mean, the only way they can do it is just run the road.
Yeah.
G2, of course,
but Winstrike
and Winstrike, they're going to mow them down. They need to throw as many smokes as they can and maybe distract them. Hawaii are probably going to push them here to try and take a pick and a poke. Couple of points, that's all you can really do and make the best of the scenario.
FaZe and NIP also about to clash in the northern side. FastRail comes around the side there. Michael in the blue tries to get around the corner, but he's eating the damage from the blue, gets straight in and back around the FastRail. We'll get to him in the back. Michael has to run away. Gustav goes down, but TSM, they're kind of sending it right now. Rory's gone off. He's managed to get himself down. Wookie's been downed, and the CrowCrowd, you can see them picking off. G2 gets in there, Vitality, everybody third partying as much as they can as TSM look at this open run they've had to make. They are getting picked apart. Meanwhile, while this happened, FaZe Clan and NIP had a little coming together in La Cabrera. There was a down. It was Fuzzface that was picked off, but he will get back on his feet. And now ENCE's got himself in a position to flank.
While all this has been going down, ENCE have played such a smart game. They have rotated pretty much from the north, the furthest all the way out, and swung it all around the map. I'm assuming they've run blue, and now they've injected themselves pretty much on the western bank of that hillside.
And got a crate.
They've got a crate, they've got a hill, they've got hard cover, and more importantly, they have circled. TSM eliminated 10th position, a little bit better than the last 2 games they've had. It's been a bit rough so far. Team Liquid still playing border control. FaZe now, unfortunately, falling to the cosh. We've got ENCE in there. We've got NIP in there.
Ooh, ENCE are taking both of them. NIP, FaZe, all getting knocked down. Mert, they weren't expecting that. Truffoli gets himself down. Mikaz is going to quickly come over the brow of the hill, but it's going to be too late. Don't think there's going to be any saving Truffoli. He's going to get flushed out by Mert. Last man he can get. 3 kills and counting for him as he tries to bank around the side there. Mikaz tossing out the names. The last man causing problems for them.
Going for it. He's going to swing for it. He wants to pick up another point. Mikaz is still shooting. He's copped for him now. Grenades cooked. We got the clip out of the back of it. They're getting closer. They're edging. He's got a comp on the back of the sky. The red dot can do some damage. He's also got a player right behind him. Gaxi onto Gemty. That's an insta. Finds him, flushes him, kills him. He's gone from Team Liquid. Circle's not gone their favor as well, so now they finally have to make a move.
Yeah, you can see CrowCrowd getting in behind Mert. Now he's taking shots. He's got nothing he can do. He either pushes forward or he gets caught in the back. Yeah, that is a turkey shoot, and that's going to be Mert going down. Digital Athletics 9th place for them. Still can't quite get that point into the points. Of course, 9th place gets you nothing. Back into La Cabrera. FaZe Clan, ENCE, NIP sharing compounds almost. Team Liquid outside, about to clash with Vitality actually. Vitality starting to surround Team Liquid's compound. They have to push in there because they either go south into G2 or north into Team Liquid, and they get a simple spray down there. Shadow, easy for him. Samty finished off.
Monkey sees that one through. They put a point in the bag. Happy days for him. Jazz is on the move as well. They just need to keep going with this one and use the damage as an advantage. However, Liquid want to play spoilers and answer this one back as they claim a scout for themselves. Shadow has obviously been very aware of that. They'll have to opt into cover area and hope that the buildings can support them. I'm seeing damage done across the board to Team Liquid, but they have made it into the compounds. You do have Maraku here who might play a spoiler and stop any further movement because Liquid still have to make a bit of a run.
This could be a massive game for CrowCrowd. They haven't got a great deal of points so far. They've just dealt with Winstrike.
Have they been mopping up in the background?
They are mopping up from this hillside. And you look at the map, they have the entirety from west to east of the southern side. Vitality send it in there, but they're caught out. Jeems pulls down himself a Groza, gets one down. Monkey picks off a Pizza, but it's all too little too late as Team Liquid will go down in 7th place. Vitality collecting that. G2 try and make a run for it. CrowCrowd picking shots off everybody. This battle in La Cabrera is simply a fight to survive, but Brexico has just sent it to the center circle.
It's a good play. Can fly across. Chris can sit on the opposite side and they can play for placement if they want to because there's only 2 of them alive in the center if they're surrounded by a team that instantly get eliminated. Battered on all edges, unfortunately, Vitality now. Maraku holding them at gunpoint. FaZe in a compound with ENCE on the back lines as well. NIP not pushing the road, but they know with the major compound they have against the crossroads or the tri-roads, I want to call it, they currently can hold this circle and dominate the last area of Cabrera. But it all depends where this circle goes. If it shifts and it crunches towards them, they're in for the game. However, if it moves towards CrowCrowd, well, I think it's going to be their game, set, and match. Unfortunately, 4 of them alive. If they get this circle, they can just mop every single player on the opposing side of the road. Where does it go?
The issue is for CrowCrowd.
It shifts to them.
The issue is for CrowCrowd, they don't have a great deal of cover up there at the moment. They need to get lower down. You can see, obviously, La Cabrera, it has this giant wall. Now, the question is, who can use that to their advantage? At the moment, ENCE are holding one side of it. Now,
I think FaZe should rush them. I really do. I think
ENCE
FaZe should rush them, eliminate them, and just destroy them and take advantage of that wall position. You're rightly, it's the most, probably the last place that you're going to be able to take something in terms of landmass.
This is the danger right here. Look at that. That's what I was saying. CrowCrowd, they have to get down out of the hills because they're easy damage. Oh, look at ENCE. ENCE have snuck right up alongside them. Set's going to be completely caught off guard here. He gets straight around the side, and there is 2 members. Squeaky, one of the highest damage dealers and kill leaders of the game, will catch him around the side, but Set gets them both down. Mick has finished off. Outplays comes in. They're going to get the revive in. Brexico's trying to run in and see if he can flush this one out. Meanwhile, back in La Cabrera, you can see it's going to be FaZe Clan and NIP 3-on-3 as they push on down with Vitality getting involved.
With Vitality getting involved here, this is the perfect time for FaZe to strike. They've heard the shots kicking off in the background. Maraku's still there holding point, calling out where all these individual Vitality players are. Meanwhile, FaZe has said, well, you know what, boys, you fight. We'll move in. We'll be a dagger in the back. They've snuck themselves inside the circle. 3-way battle for the northern edge. G2 and CC, they're also going to kick it off. This will literally come down to 2 individual teams right at the very end. I know that's the usual storyline, but you've got 2 battles on 2 fronts, and honestly, I think only 1 team will survive either.
FaZe are going to sit and watch. It's Vitality that are pushing NIP. They come around the side. Monkey gets Gaxi down. Straight away gets a peek around the side there. Vard's cooking the nade, but it's not what you need when there's an AK coming to your face. 80 gets another one in the back, and that is NIP done and dusted. They're going out in 5th place. There's now FaZe and Vitality. The old foes battle once again.
Can we appreciate what circle this is? And Chris is literally looting a silenced AWN 6 times, all the 3 gear and getting tanked up. Like, he could just be such a nuisance and pick so many people.
It's the highest damage dealer in the entire game right now.
FaZe have dove into the backlines where the fight was going on between Vitality earlier on and, of course, NIP. NIP have fallen. They can now take this one down. They actually might be able to find a battered and bruised Vitality and take advantage of this one.
But look at that wall. You've got to go in the blue now. And this is what, phase 6? That's going to hurt. Either way, these teams are kind of committed to it. So it's almost, you feel that these 2 are basically just trying to get as much kills as they can. 9 kills so far for Vitality as a double nade comes in as Jazzer and Monkey fall. Shadow, the last man standing. FaZe are just going to rush straight on this one. Shadow trying to hold the line, but he can't do. It was a beautiful double push there, and FaZe eliminate Vitality in 4th.
They need to be careful of Chris, though. As soon as they go around that wall, he might be able to find a face that AWM's going to do in it.
He's sat ready and waiting.
Oh, yeah, of course they have to run blue. I'm forgetting all about this. Because of the wall, they literally have to run blue.
Phase 8 blue. Phase 8 blue. This is going to punish you when they get around that corner. We're about to pop into phase 9 and start to shrink down. The smoke wall will go down.
He's pre-nading him, Lee. He knows what's coming here.
He's got to. I mean, it's the only place they can go.
Look at all the smokes. Thick and fast, in we go. Mexi out first. Supposed to follow, and all of a sudden, the drill comes in. So many bullets, so many teams. They can see exactly what's happening. The smoke's there. They give the story away.
G2
5 kills comes in, and FaZe Clan goes out.
It's G2 that steal the kills away from CrowCrowd, but CrowCrowd now in the higher position. Chris pushes up. He is a monster. Dream for you. He's trying to get a flank around, but Chris is ready and waiting. He's level 3'd up as well, remember. You can see that little Wookiee suit gets a peek straight on towards him. Set, though, trying to line the shot down. Look at Set damage. Chris will finally be down, but Brexico is not done and dusted yet. He's got himself 5 and looking for more.
It literally takes 2 people to take Chris down. He accepts fights on all angles. Nades are coming up and over. Unfortunately, the numbers game is well against him for Brexico. This should be CC's game, but he's looking for more. He's looking for points. What can he do? He's in a 1 versus 2 scenario. Anything possible.
We saw Outplays ahead. He saw the head come over the top, so he's prepared for this one. He's only got 26 bullets left in his scar. That's all he has, but that may be all he needs for 2 Outplays. If he can take this into 1v1s, which it looks like he might.
They have no idea. This would be monumental if he got these kills. 2 wins in a row, this would send G2 flying up the board.
Waiting, wiggling. Would like a slightly better pixel placement. And there we go. Moves his crosshair. Gets it just to be on the line. He's waiting for that little silhouette of a head to peek over that brow. You can see, he just saw it. Alf plays peeks. He's waiting for him to go right side. Peeks a little too much. Gets himself an angle. Has to go for it. He's just waiting for the second one. Did Alf player see him? Yes, he did. Maybe giving himself his position away. Gets it. 12 bullets left in the chamber. Oh, Braxico does it. He had nothing left in that scar, but he lands it. And G2 pick themselves up a back-to-back chicken dinner.
1, 2, thank you. What in the world was that? 2 versus 1 scenario, 26 bullets, an EMEA dream. And he makes every